Okay. All right. Well, hello everyone. We know we are streaming this into the group's live, so we actually are not we are not actually live. So we won't see your comments and things, but in the groups that I'm in, I will come back and check for questions, and I'm sure Marilyn can do the same for the groups that she's in. Really what we wanted to talk about tonight is, we've really known for a long time how to maximize the comp plan. We tell you guys that customers and brand partners is how you fully unlock the benefits of our comp plan. And the company started talking a lot about sampling and getting your 10 samples out a month, and that's really the direction that we want to go to help you build both your customer and your brand partner base. And so interestingly enough, in the same day that I was thinking in my head, that's great, but we need to help people understand how to get those 10 samples out or who they're going to get them to. Marilyn just so happened to hit 23,000 in trip volume that day, earning level 2, and a large portion of that was from her sampling. And so if you really think about this, it doesn't take very many people to really change your business, truly. And I think typically, Jeff has always said 5 people can totally transform your business. Any rep that you're in, 5 new people could totally change your business, right? But what we tend to do often, from my experience and what I've seen, is you're looking for, we'll say 4 people. You're looking for those 4 aces in a card deck, right? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the 4 aces. But instead of continuing to bring in potentially turning all 52 cards to get those aces, what we tend to do a lot is we'll get the 2s and the 3s and the 4s, and we'll say, I'm going to make them an ace. Right? And so what we're trying to get you away from is limiting yourself on your thinking of how many people you can share this gift with, how many people's lives you can help change, whether it's through our products or through our business, and thinking more of it as a numbers game of the more people you expose and speak to, the more chances you have of getting customers and brand partners. That's the way it works. It's not rocket science, but it is a numbers game. So Marilyn has a lot to tell you about what shifted for her when business had to shift, and how she's learned to not just adjust her business, but in my opinion, truly master a new way of doing her business to still create exposures. For someone who she is very, very much a people person. She's involved in many outside things where she's always networking. And so for her, she really had to change her way of networking and doing business. So I'm going to let Marilyn take it away and share all of her expertise with all of us to hopefully sample our way to level 2 trip as well. So thank you so much, Marilyn, for taking time out to share all these tips with everyone and being such a servant leader and doing that today.
Well, thank you very much. Very nice introduction. I'm sort of a maniac on the trips. People know that about me every year. This is my 7th trip I'll be going on, and just get out of my way when they announce it, because I will get there as fast as I can. But this time I got there faster than ever. I'm sort of still shocked I got it there as fast as I did. But let me tell you what, I've been with New York for 6 years. And I am a big extrovert, and I love to go out and meet people. And how I've worked my business for practically 6 years has been to go to networking groups. I belong to Chamber of Commerce. I love doing that, you all. I love to go out and meet people, and I do vendor shows, and I did all this stuff, and I loved it. But I was always really busy. And I go, well, okay, is it really paying off? So every year I'd look at what I was doing, is it paying off or not? And I thought it was. It's a numbers game. It's how many people you meet and how many people you can give samples to or talk to or whatever. So, and people got to know me, and it was good. So March hit. And when March hit, I did not panic, but I probably should have. I thought, oh gosh, there's no events. And nobody even tried to pick up and do anything virtual till like April or May. And then they weren't as effective. I thought they were pretty lame, so I go, what am I going to do? In my head, I wasn't panicking, but I thought, well, maybe I should do what New York has been telling me to do for a long time. 2 things. Number 1 is social media and sampling. And they go hand in hand, you guys. They really go hand in hand. And I thought, okay, I've always done both, but I've always just piddled in them. I never really dug in, got in, and said, I have got to figure this out. Well, now I'm up against the wall. I don't have any place else to meet people. And I said, I've got to do it. So this is what I did starting in March. And now it's August, you all. So it does take time. So don't think, oh, I'm going to go in and do this next week and I'm going to do what she's doing, because it really doesn't work that way. It's cumulative. It all builds. So what I started doing religiously was to always post every single day on social media, 1 or 2 times a day. And I have a message that I send to a PM to everyone for their birthday. Now, and I'm going to attach this when it goes live. I'll attach it in the comments, and I'll go back and look, or I'll send it to Jennifer. She can put it in there, because mine does not say I'm giving you a sample. It says I'm giving you a gift. A gift. And when I used this other one before, a long time ago, was about, I want a sample, and no one bid on it. But everybody does. I'm telling you, I've got lots of people on social media, though, on Facebook. So that does help me, because I always have about 10, I have at least 15 birthdays a day I look at. Obviously, I don't send samples to brand partners, and I don't send samples to anybody else who has a ton of people that I know are already talking to them, probably. I always question that every day. Wonder if they talk to them or not. So I send an email, a PM to them, and I just ask them, do you want to? And I'm telling you, I have so many people come back and go, oh my gosh, I've really been wanting to try that. I thought, why didn't you say something? But they don't say a word to you. So anyway, I have lots and lots of samples out all the time from that. And another thing I do, and I've learned this from other people. So as you get into this and start doing it all at once, you'll hear another idea and you bring it in. I do a lot of stories. You guys, stories are what people are using. And I know you hear this just like I heard it from Amber. I go, yeah. Well, she's right. Because people watch your stories more than your posts, because people like to look through stuff. I mean, just think about it. Is everybody just sitting there watching movies or looking through stories? And this is how I do a story. I always do a theme. And you guys will start looking at my stories now. I'm going to I'll be criticized a bit, but that's okay. I have a theme. And at the end, I always end with 1 or 2 times during the story, a poll. Do you want a sample, or do you want more information? I usually say, do you want to try the hair care? And I put yes or more information. Sometimes I put, do you want to try the hair care? Yes, and heck yes. Who wouldn't want to try it? So I get samples off that. What I do every night, and this is I think it's timing also, I do my post for the next day at night, and I hold it in Facebook. So the first thing I get up in the morning, it goes out. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whenever I go pick up my phone, I send it out. I don't even have to think about it. I'm a morning person, but I don't want to think about a Facebook post. Okay, so I send that. I do my stories at night. I'm always sitting there watching TV. So I sit there and do my stories. I start in Instagram, I put it in Instagram, and it hooks into Facebook. So it's the same one. And that's fine, you guys. Don't act like you have to do 2 different ones. Who cares? Instagram people are Instagram people, Facebook people are Facebook people. I found that out. Then what I do that. I always have people in Instagram. I'm still figuring Instagram out. It's a little harder. I have people that will say they want a sample, but then they never answer me. I keep asking them and asking them. Then I give them my Facebook. Then I just give them my website. Well, check it out, So I'm really trying there. On Facebook and even in Instagram, but I have much bigger following in Facebook. I go into everybody who likes, and I start just talking to them. Not brand partners, obviously. The other day, I did a post on skincare, and the first picture I had was on men, and I had 100 people like it. And then the next day I'll post it, I have 5, but I had 100 people like it. So I went back in and I start looking through everything. Hi, Todd, how are you doing? Hey, thank you very much for looking at my story on Facebook. I really appreciate it. Would you want to try some of that skincare? Be glad to send you a sample. That's all I say. And then I cut and paste that with a different name all the way down to everybody who is not a brand partner. That's how you have to do it, you guys. That's another way to find people, because say nobody answers my poll. I don't have any samples going out. So I've got to do that. So you've got to look, but in the stories, don't just do the story, go in and do the poll, and then go in and start rummaging through and start looking through everybody who has liked your Facebook. And you know what it does? When you go in and go over to it, they show a picture of what they liked. So it's not like you're randomly just talking to them. It shows that little picture and then you start talking to them. And that's when you start, and you know what? If I do that enough with Todd, sooner or later, he's my financial guy. I will nail him for a sample. He will get a sample sooner or later, because if it's not that, it'll be the hair care. But I will get him to sample because he takes care of my money. So he owes me.
Right.
So that's how I do believe a lot of that, you guys. If I buy from somebody, I expect them to support me. If I have him taking care of my money, I have him supporting me. Where's he getting the money from? So, it's like, come on, Todd. So you wake up. So that's really important. Now, the other thing that's really important, you guys, you can do all that. And guess what? Follow up. It's follow up. I have my sheet. I have my little thing here. I list everybody. I use the trackers. They're out there. We keep talking about these trackers. Print them off. I love these trackers because it tells you who you gave the sample to, when you sent it out, when they received it. And this is what I do. I send it out to them, and then I say, well, it's on its way. I always go through Go Prospect. To me, that's become the easiest way to do it. I do have always a few samples on hand in case I do a network thing. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So anyway, I do that, and then as soon as, within the day, I send them a video from Go Prospect, and I said, hey, your eye serum sample's on the way, but here's a video you can watch on how you use the product. I'm going to keep them hooked all the way through this process. And then in about 5 days, I always give it 5, I say, hey, just checking in. Want to make sure you got your Neora sample. I don't care if it was for their birthday or not. I want to make sure they got their gift. And then they'll come back. They usually always answer me, yes or no. And then I'll come back, well, I just got it today. Great, I'll check back in with you. 2 days later, I check in. Did you try it? Yes, I tried it. One gal said today, I love it. I have no money. I'm really trying to save money, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, let me tell you what I have for you. What if you would want to host a Facebook Live party? I do all the work. You just invite the people. You can get some free product. She goes, oh, I'm going to think about that, because she's not going to buy. She's been following me a long time. I know she's not going to buy, but I'd be thrilled if she would have a Facebook party. And then if she gets so many, in sales and so many orders, I'd give her some free products. So she's thinking about it. So then you go back in. So it's the people that really are, I just keep following up. Some people, I have 5 to 7 follow-ups with them. I don't care. You know what? They're going to use it sooner or later. And then if they say they really don't want it, I always question why. Then you go through that whole ordeal with them as why, and and then I'll send them pictures and try to still get them to buy. But I'm telling you, if you don't do follow-up, don't do the rest, because you still will get those samples out. Now, the statistics are very, very correct. 25 to 30% buy. That's it. So think about it, you guys. If we have 10 out a month, how many is going to buy? 3 to 4. But that would give you your 3 you are free. Then you have another one. I always call these icing on the cake, because I have all these other people I'm working with, and my sample people that I get are icing on the cake. That's how I always feel. And it rolls, you guys, every single month. I may send something out in July. I'm still following up now. I may send something out in June. I'm still following up now. It doesn't matter, but don't let any of them go. And so yesterday I did go to a network event. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I'm not going to go to very many of those. I'm only staying involved in 2 groups now. I just cut everybody else off because it's not productive enough for me. I have billions of people on social media that I can talk to, and I only have 20 people at a network meeting. Get real, where you got to be. So guess what I did, though? I had a couple eye serum sample packs. So I start talking about the business and how everything's going so well. And I said, guys, this is first come, first serve. And there's about 15 people there. I have 2 eye serum packs. Whoever wants them. These 2 ladies have about knocked each other down to come and get them from me. They were so excited to get those. And then all the rest of the people, I sent them an email and said, hey, I have more samples if you want them, because I'm not going to let the other people go. But these people were so excited to get a sample. So people do like them. And you know what? People sample and they like our product and then they buy it. It may only be one day, and it may only be, it's a sample, you guys. It's not the full regimen forever. Set your expectations on that. You have a 1-day sample. And this is only a sample, but you can buy the product, 30-day money back guarantee, blah, blah, blah. Don't make them think that this is like a week's worth of product, because it's not. It's very, very little in those products. So I got to set that expectation up. But, you know, the biggest thing is, you guys, you have got to be consistent. It's called the slight edge. If you aren't I do this every day, 7 days a week. I don't even skip the weekends. Sorry, not going to. People are all over Facebook on the weekends. People are bored. They're sitting around still, and they're checking their Facebook. And you know, when people check a lot of times on Facebook is overnight. That's sort of scary. I put my story out there and I get up the next morning, I have 20 likes. I go, what are y'all doing? Staying up all night or what?
Yes, I do.
So that's why that night is very effective. And then first thing in the morning, the first thing they see, hopefully, is my post. So that's it, you guys. It's not anything different than what I've heard. But I'm doing it now, and I'm using the slight edge. I'm staying extremely consistent. I never miss. I feel so bad if I don't get the birthdays done by 9 o'clock. You know, I do everything first thing in the morning, and then I work on my other stuff. Then I keep checking it all day.
Well, and if you know, and just to give you some, I guess, stats, aside from her earning her trip, which is amazing, she has 20 to 30 samples out every month, right?
Yes.
Yes. So, okay, we're going for 10, but if you're doing the things, you may end up with more than the 10, you know? So it's kind of
what started going, though, is, you remember when the hair care samples came, and then we went and we got the 10 packs? Mm-hmm. When I got those in the mail, I said to myself that day, I will have these out in 3 days. And that started me thinking, oh my gosh, if I can get 10 hair care samples out in 3 days, I can get 30 out a month of all the samples. So it just proved to me of how big they really are and how much people want them.
So let me kind of summarize that part too. That's your expectation, which everything starts here. And we say it a lot, but that's because it's the truth. So what you expect, you get. If you expect that you'll never get samplers, you won't get samplers. If you expect that you're going to at least get 10, or I love the range, so 10 to 20 a month. So you shoot for the 20. If you miss it, you still hit your 10. Those are things that truly do matter when you're looking at your month. And then just to kind of summarize everything that she said. Number one, tracking is key. Otherwise, you don't know who to follow up with. And I can tell you from experience, because I write things down in a notebook too, when I use a tracker, I don't lose people. When I use my notebook or my calendar, they tend to fall off into the wayside because I don't remember what page they're on or whatever. But use some form of a tracker so that you can keep up with how many times you're following up, because truly, it tends to take people 5 to 12 exposures before they're going to make a purchasing decision. So that's why she's saying some people have 7 to 9 follow-ups, and she's still going, because you should. I remember in conference when Aaron Din said he follows up until they die, because seriously, right? They're never going to end that part. The social media aspect, of course, if you're not going to use social media, and this training probably isn't super effective for you, but the point is it works, especially in a time right now where we can't be in person. It's a way to network and continue to build your network. And I loved how you said that when people say they can't afford it, you offer to host a party. So how many people on this training right now are thinking, well, I want to have a party, I don't know who to have them with. Well, this is how you start moving when you've been into the business for a little while. This is how you start finding new ways to do what we should still be doing every month, though, to use our system. To have a party, you're going to use your network to grow and have a party through that network, and always ask and utilize that. What's the worst case scenario? They say no, well, then nothing changes than what it is right now. But if they say yes, now you have a new party, maybe she gets a new customer, or even a new sampler, even new samplers from that party, right? Looking at obviously what she does for birthdays, we'll share that verbiage as well. Growing your friend base, because I noticed that you said you have a lot of friends. And so really focus too, if you continuously work from a same funnel, eventually you'll run out of people. So you've got, the mailman's here.
Someone's here.
Sorry, it's the mailman. Worst ever for their marketing. I'm going to just scream. How about that? So being focused on making new connections every day, too, so that you're adding people into that funnel. Please be quiet, for the love. And then stories, of course. We definitely know the stories. I do the same thing with the poll. And so for those of you who don't know, when you click on create a poll, and I also do the same thing. I do my stories through Instagram and tie them into Facebook because it's working smarter, not harder. But when you do that poll, you can change first of all, it'll have it where you can type a question and then it'll say yes, no. You don't have to put a question there if you don't want, and you can always change the yes and no words. So that's what she's talking about when she puts those on the stories. And I did that same thing. It was like, I want it right now, send me a sample. And I got a sampler, I don't even know who she is, for my stories that way. So that definitely works. I've always suggested doing the posting for people who are busy, to create your post whenever you want. And what she means is when you don't actually, if you type it all out, you gotta be kidding me. What is happening with them? My rabid dogs. When you type it all out, if you don't actually post and you go to X off, it'll ask you if you want to save it as a draft. And so all you say is yes. And so when you go back to your Facebook in the morning, like she's saying, and you go to like you're going to go post, it will pop up and it'll be right there. And all you have to do is click post. So I used to have to do that all the time because my brightest ideas come at like 2 a.m. I'm the person looking at your stories. My brightest ideas come at 2 a.m. But if I make a post at 2 a.m., it's not going to get a ton of engagement. So that's a great tip, even for people who are busy. Simply, you can always have something prepared when your brain has a moment to think. And then something else about how she said that she reaches out to everyone who's looked that's not a brand partner. On Facebook, you have a story archive. It's on and I was double checking just so that I wasn't lying to you all, but that's why I was looking down for a second. But when you go on your Facebook, go to your own profile, there is something called a story archive. It's under your 3 dots. Like if you're on your phone, next to add story, there's 3 dots. It's a story archive. You can see every story that you've posted, and when you click on it, you can still see every person who liked it, who saw it, who loved it, who whatever. It's all archived for you right here. So definitely, if you're like, oh my gosh, I've never done that, you can go back and do it today for the last week of people and start a whole wave of people that you're reaching out to, like she said. And the only other thing, the fear of missing out. So I am a huge person in saying, because that makes me crack up when you say I have 2 samples and they wanted to attack you. It's because they are afraid they're not going to get it, right? It's the whole idea of not everyone gets a trophy. If everyone got a trophy, no one would play as hard, right? It's the same concept. And so anytime my coupons, my samples, I always only have 1 or 2. It's never like, well, hit me up at any moment. I always have samples for you, because then there's no fear of missing out. There's no sense of urgency for people to get things. So even using little psychological tricks like that, because clearly she can send them samples through Go Prospect all day, but just saying that you only have 1, or I have 1 sample up for grabs, who wants it? It doesn't mean that the 5 people who want it don't all get it. It's just the sense of fear of missing out and sense of urgency that you create when you say it. So hopefully, to me, I love when you hear a training and you're like, it sounds like everything that we've always been told, because all it is telling you there's not something crazy that you're missing. It's just making the decision to go do it and to do it consistently. So obviously she is a shining example of all of those things. Trips are amazing and she's earned the trips, but just in her business always. So thank you so much for
You're welcome.
Out. And hopefully, I challenge you guys to even just go do one of the things she said today, whether you're going to go send the birthday messages, or maybe you're going to go look at one of your past stories and start connecting to the people on there, whatever. I challenge you to do one of those things right now, because otherwise you'll start thinking it and overthinking it, and that's not going to get us anywhere. We got to action, moves you through your emotions. So put yourself into action, go do one of the things she said today. I already have my 10 samples out this month, but I'm going to get another 10 out simply by doing these things that she says on a regular basis. Not once a week, not when I feel like it, but really making them a part of your daily habit to where you really don't even, I'm sure you don't really think that much.
I just do it.
Yes.
It just becomes part of you. You just do it.
And it's simple, which is the best thing of all, and can work around wherever you are and whatever's going on in your life. So thank you for being that and sharing with everybody else. And let's get to sampling people so we can find those aces. Keep turning over words, help more people.
And I found an ace.
See?
Okay, you guys, that's what's so weird. My social media, I've been so consistent for the last 5 months. And this gal who I've worked with 15 years ago, we've been talking off and on for 6 years. The other day she got home and she goes, hey, Marilyn, you know that hair care stuff? I said, yeah. She was got really, really thin hair. I said, yeah. She said, I want to try that. And I'm ready to be a brand partner now.
Oh, wow.
She had a party last night. She signed up 2 brand partners, 2 PCs. She has another party on Friday night, and she'll probably get her 3 brand partners and I hope like 6 PCs. Just like that. And that's the ace. That's the ace I found who I did not know was coming.
And because my brain overthinks everything, please know that I'm not saying that people are just numbers and we're just flipping cards. I'm right here. That's not what I mean. I'm trying to use it. Everyone has value on our team, for sure. What I mean is, if you really want to change your business, it's not about trying to make someone want it who doesn't want it. It's about continuously exposing new people. That was all I meant by that analogy. So,
right.
Okay.
They're all out there. They want us. We need them. They need us. So everybody, work together.
Let's help lots of people. All right. Thank you so much.